Bonjour. Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. It's me, your host is Schmazoo. And we have a James. Welcome. I don't know what I'm doing. Welcome to Productivity and Procrastination. I'm Joseph with a Z. And that is James.
With a yeah.
James, yeah. And this is Productivity and Procrastination. I already said that, didn't I?
I don't know. Maybe.
Episode 11. Look, I'm getting good at remembering the number of the episode.
That's good.
Assuming last week wasn't 11. We're here to talk about our productivity and become less procrastinating. I mean, I would argue that procrastination is a good part of productivity. I think it's the other side of the coin. And I think it's still important to relax. Like Sean Bean said in Civilization 6, those who don't make time for recreation soon make time for sickness. Thanks, Sean Bean. I don't remember the actual person who quoted that, but Sean Bean reads it to me in Civ 6, so that's all that really matters.
That's all that's important, I guess. Yeah, I haven't played a video game in 2 weeks.
What?
Yeah.
Dang.
So I guess I've been just every minute's consumed with something. And I don't have a lot of free time anymore. So
I know.
when I get it, I have to spend it with my family and feed myself, take care of normal things. But I am making strides to just do things in my life. I'm losing a little bit of weight. I'm eating better. Like every aspect is, getting a little bit better. It's not a fast process by any means, though. But my stress is down to very little at all, if any, and I'm getting more sleep. Finances are better, I think. I'll know in a little bit. And and I worked on moving forward in my my story that I'm dealing with. I talked to my daughter about illustrating the children's book with me, and so that'll be a fun father-daughter project. And
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm paying her some money so she can start to do character concept art and things. And so that's cool. It's kind of like outsourcing some of, because I really I had to look at everything and go, you know what? I just don't have the years to become an artist.
Yeah.
Forget it. I'll outsource that.
Yeah,
So,
it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You've seen me struggle.
Yeah, and I don't want to have to wait that long. So, who am I kidding? Let's just get it going on. And so that's cool. So it's been a good week. I haven't had a lot of relaxation though. It's probably building up a little bit, But I was gonna get a 3-day weekend here, but now that's not happening. I have to work tonight.
Yeah.
But um, but that's okay. I'm gonna try to find a little time in between, and I still have to ramp it up more. But I think the big change this last week is getting to the point where I did push forward and change my situation with my projects. There's the change that causes me to look at it in a further along time frame and from a different perspective, and add a push on me and on the timeline of getting it done, and so I want to think that for me anyway, and I operate in weeks. 1 week periods are kind of how I have to look at my life. I can't be this guru guy who every day, it's, grindstone, just do it. I can't. It's not how my life works anyway. I don't know, but 1 week
Shia
period.
LaBeouf is disappointed in you.
I know, right? So, is this next week different from last week? Am I further?
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time since I've been able to say yes. I can say yes. I'm further this last week, and even with all that, no time. So, I feel pretty good about that, and it makes me think that I want that same thing for this week, because my week begins basically now. After this podcast is my new week.
Mm-hmm.
And I want this new week, next time we meet, me to be able to go, okay, well, I got further, either, in this method or in that method. I am further to getting a book out. I am further to being independent in my life, doing creative things.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Awesome.
was it perfect? No, but further is better than not, and I think I can live with that.
Yeah, no, I get that. This week for me has been a mixed bag. There was one morning that I ended up waking up, like going to bed early, or there was one night I went to bed early, woke up early. Not because I chose to, but because it just happened that way. And so I spent the morning working on art, and that was awesome. I worked on some perspective and did some practice stuff, and I felt really good. And that was most of what I did during the week, sadly. that was the extent of it. A lot of it is to do with, like, I'm so focused on, I don't know, I feel like my Maslow hierarchy of needs isn't met. And because of that, it's hard for me to focus on progression. Like because my car is still, it's just like a lingering problem, my brain can't relax enough to do other stuff.
I don't know if Maslow includes a car.
He might. He might. I'll have to ask
mean,
him next time.
You don't really need a car to. Well, I mean, you got your shelter, you got your food, you have safety, I guess car breaking
part of
in
that,
isn't
like,
necessarily.
I think also there's part of me that
Are you using it as an excuse?
Probably a little
question.
bit. No, absolutely. Probably a little bit. But I do think there's there's part of me that's just having a hard time because something is askew. Like, I need my house in order to focus.
Mm-hmm.
And my house isn't in order. Like, I don't have, like, it's still an open-ended question of, is it going to get fixed? Am I getting a new car? How am I going to afford that? You know, it's still an open question, and I need to get, so this week I should absolutely be knowing whether, like, I should be able to get it fixed this weekend or this week. So it should be awesome. I've got the parts
Okay,
ordered.
so if it does get fixed, what is your plan for injecting, like, when have you slated that you want to work on these things? And, like, are you going to have to come up with that after this is done? Or do you already have a plan in motion?
That I don't have yet. I need to. So part of me wants to keep trying to work on it while at work. Part of me wants to basically go to bed at 8 and wake up whenever I wake up and start doing art in the morning before work. Because I really liked that. It felt very productive and it felt like I could focus because part of it's like, okay, well, I haven't hung out with these people in a while. I got to maintain that friendship. I haven't hung out with these people in a while. I have to maintain that friendship. And it's like, it's hard.
How long is a while?
Like a few days.
Sorry. If you're gonna lose a friend after, or if your friends are the people that, like, if you haven't done something with in a week or something, your friendship is diminished. I think you're choosing the wrong friends. Personally.
It's more of a me thing than a them thing. I don't know.
I think it is. Maybe it is. Here's the thing. Well, one, if they're really a friend, if you're doing something with them once every, 2 weeks is probably okay. I mean, if they know what you're trying to do, okay? I mean, if you're actually working on your craft and they know it and they're like, hey, you're like, hey, cheer me on, man, you're gonna, if you subscribe to my feed or whatever, you're gonna see work being produced. This is what I'm doing, and hey, you might not see me as often, but well,
I mean,
I want you to know what the situation is. Well, hold on. Let me finish the thought on this. That's extrapolated to years now. Okay? Yeah, you can maintain all of these friendships and all these relationships by daily, or you can, in a course of a few years, radically change your life so that you can do things with anybody when you want, in between your art, in between, maintaining your own business. You're able to use those time slots in such a way that you can maintain them a lot easier. Even a little bit of pain right now, a little bit of adjustment right now can have very large dividends for time and relationships in just a few years. I mean, if those people aren't going to be friends in a few years, then it's not worth it, Joe. I've been friends with people since kindergarten, and I don't talk with them or do anything with them, but maybe once every 2 years. Okay, so I mean, I text him once on his birthday. Hey, maybe we should do something this year. You know, but I mean, when you're really a friend with someone, you know, like if you don't talk to me in a few months, you call me up again. It's just like, okay, it's just like yesterday. We saw each other. Okay, fine. And same with those guys. Hey, see you in a year. You have a lot to talk about of what's going on. If you're still alive. I don't think you're. I think you need to focus a little bit more on yourself. Now, if you could manage it all, great. But it doesn't sound like you're managing it all. It doesn't sound like you're giving any time to yourself.
No, and something else I should start doing more, and I've tried before and I really liked it, was like I can still hang out with them by like being on a call, but work on my own thing. Like I really like that. It helped me focus, like similar to like the stream where I could just focus on what I'm doing, which was drawing. I found that to be effective. So I'm still maintaining the friendship, well, at least the feeling that I'm maintaining a friendship, while also working on my art. And I am confident that I don't need to, quote, maintain the friendship, but as often as I do, but it's important to me, and I just like spending time with them. So I need to, but I do need to get a lot more work done.
Yeah, I mean, you have to count the cost. You have to do the math. What's it going to take to build this thing? And how long are you going to take to build it? And you're talking to the perfect guy. A decade, plus. I haven't even mixed the mortar. But if I want to get something out within this year, which is my goal, I'm going to get something out this year. I need to have real chunks done, in periods of time that make sense. And I think if you want, first of all, you got to know what it is you're doing. I mean,
I already
you got to
know what I'm doing.
Okay, well, you got that down. All right. Well, then it's how much realistic time are we talking about? And then you got to divide that time up into the ratios that you're giving it each week. So what would that be right now? And if you look at the two, is this scale like that? So then the answer is no, it's not going to be done in that allotted time period. So something has to change. Because your future is like a friend to you as well. It's a friend that's going to be there for your whole life. It's going to radically change your life. It's going to help you through the hard times. That friend needs some time. So give that some thought. Now, when it comes down to the trickle time that you're kind of saying, I think that's okay here and there. Like with someone, and yet you're kind of multitasking at the same time. It's like emotional, yet not, that thing is an every now and then thing to me. It's not how you want to spend time with someone. Like if you really want to spend time with someone, you really got to spend the 100% attention. You want to give your attention 100% to what you're trying to do, because the mind is very powerful and you want all parts of it to be involved in that. So, I mean, to some degree, I think that it's very similar to you talking about, oh, I'm going to do some work at work too. Yeah, that's okay every now and then, but really, you know, Michelangelo under the Sistine Chapel was not, multitasking with his, iPad or whatever while he was
Was
doing
he
it.
not
His
answering some calls?
he probably
Replacing people's
wasn't.
cat food?
Probably wasn't. So,
Coward.
to some degree, you have to give whoever and whatever your undivided attention. You have to schedule some of that in there. I don't think you're going to multitask these tasks 100%. You've got to find the balance.
I gotcha. Yeah, I need to try a bunch of different things and figure out what works for me. Because, yeah, I do need to spend more time doing the things that I need to get done. So, my current one I would like to try is basically going to bed at 8, essentially. Like, start my bedtime routine at 8, go to bed, and then wake up whenever I wake up, and then work from there until work time on art. And so there's no distractions, there's nothing. And then
Is that
that
every
might also...
single day?
What do you mean?
Don't you have plans with certain people in the night? Like
Not that
8
late.
o'clock, 9? No?
Oh, on Fridays. Yeah, 8 from 8 to 10. But other than that, that'd be fine.
Okay, so that's the only day.
Well, other than Tuesday, we do our thing on Tuesday. We could schedule that earlier, though.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I can't
that's a
do it
hard
earlier.
one. I mean, if possible, well, we could talk about when to schedule that later, but if possible, I would rather do those things like right after this, because if I don't never know what's going to happen. But anyway, I'm trying to focus on your scenario. There are a lot of little adjustments you can make, and maybe there are a little more than little adjustments. But I also agree with being able to wake up refreshed and being able to use 100% of your awoken mind,
And I think
on-
it's
on that.
twofold. Like, if I do it in the mornings too, before work, I think that'll encourage me. Like, it'll make it easier to work on it while also at work.
Maybe
Yeah, maybe.
it will help with that. I wouldn't count on that as the main strategy, but I think, I've really liked moving forward in the week for me, and I guess I would encourage you to break down the tasks that you want to do and try to find manageable chunks where you can define as kind of like a weekly goal. I mean, breaking down the whole thing, that's probably not feasible. But, understanding how long you want this to be before you're, making side money or whatever, and breaking that down so that it can happen in the time frame you want, is worth doing, so that you can have the result. Otherwise, you may not get there in a time frame that you want, and then what's second on your list, is just continuing to work for the man, something that, I mean, I don't think anybody really wants to do. So,
Yeah.
I certainly don't.
What? Your current job isn't your life goals?
No. Everything has its advantages, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give it that. I definitely. Yeah, I walk around 7. Yesterday, I walked 9 miles
Damn.
at work. That's a lot of walking.
Mm-hmm. Did you get some insoles?
Yeah,
You need to get some insoles.
feet are killing.
Why haven't you gotten anything?
Honestly, I haven't even thought about it since
Oh.
maybe I said it. When I take off my shoes, I feel pain and don't think about how I can solve it. I just think about the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you said that, maybe I'll think about how to solve it. But I I hope that the resting thing doesn't turn into sometimes one, sleeping in, sometimes two.
So the idea is like I go to bed at a time because I don't work until 8. So if I go to bed at 8 and I'm sleeping for a full 12 hours, that's mind blowing to me. I don't think I've ever slept 12. Well, no, I think I have once. I used to
Every
do
now
this.
and then you will.
Yeah. And I'm fine with that.
That's okay.
I used to think that this 48 hour, like stay up for 48 hours and sleep for 12 was the most efficient. Mostly because I didn't like waiting in bed to fall asleep. But I stopped doing that. That was like when I was 20. Now that I'm 21.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure your heart feels a little better now, too.
probably.
Were you drinking caffeine, too, at the same time?
Definitely not. As he holds up his caffeinated beverage.
Yeah. So, yeah, your heart probably loved you. Yeah, that's probably not the healthiest thing to decide upon. I'm glad you changed it. So
Yeah, theoretically, I should be sleeping a few hours, like probably around 7 hours is my typical average, and I should be waking up like refreshed because I'm just waking up from waking up and not an alarm. And then I should be able to just get up and get some work done. And nothing motivates me more than getting work done knowing that work's coming up. Because it's not after work where it's like, oh, I can finally relax. It's before work where it's like, all right, I've got all this energy. Man, I'm thinking that might be the ticket. And then after work, I can relax. Like I can feel like, okay, I've done my work. I've done my practice, my art. After work, if I want to, I can relax.
Well, I do remember there's probably been quite a few times where I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to get a full night's sleep and wake up and get stuff done. Here's to look out for. It's I'm just going to relax for half an hour, play a video game for just to wake up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say yes to that even once. Just go, okay, I have a plan. This is when I'm gonna stick to it because I've heard that is the pitfall. As soon as you give it that half hour, you're starting to structure
Yeah.
the play in the morning, and then when you do that, it becomes the habit, and then all of a sudden it becomes, oh well, I'm almost done with this one part, and it's gonna take a few more minutes, and then eventually it's 3 hours.
Yeah.
You know, beware of that, and you're going to be a more successful human than I.
Well, we'll see
Best
what
strategy.
happens. We'll see what happens.
Those who fail to plan to fail, right? Don't see what happens, Joe.
Sean Bean didn't say that
Plan
to
it.
me, so I don't think it's real. Doesn't sound like a real quote if Sean Bean didn't say it.
Well, is that Sean Bean in the background whispering in your ear?
If only.
Okay.
I would listen to that man read a dictionary.
James Earl Jones.
Yeah, that'd be another one.
Listen to him read anything. Um. So, yeah, my plan is just move forward and feel like I've really moved forward in some way. And to top last week, I've got to have some production, and I'm gonna also see if there's any production on the art side that's been done, and there's a lot of facets, and I need to do what I told you to do, which is basically like plan out some steps and look at other things as well.
I'm also writing down a draw daily because this is the most successful I've ever been, is having the draw daily and the days and being able to cross them out. So that way I'm getting back in the habit of putting pencil to paper on a daily basis.
Yeah, and whatever happened to those like the Gorgon, these like place marker.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm working on a piece before the Gorgon, because I want to use my new. Like, I've been working pretty diligently on a piece, a witch, like a cottage core type witch. I have a vision in my head, and I'm trying to transfer that vision to paper. And I'm excited about it because it's going to be gorgeous. The lighting is going to be mwah.
Cool. Yeah, well, as long as you have those mid goals, that's cool. I'm glad for that.
And then I have a completely different art style in mind for the Gorgon. I'm thinking like an old Greek, or what I view as an old Greek painting. Like really like almost washed out colors. I've got some really cool ideas.
And I want to get my photography business rolling again. I need to do a few shoots. Because as much as I want to, write and do those things, the photography thing is kind of very similar in passive income over time. And so I can't discount that as like very similar to the things I want to do. and I could set up a shoot anytime, and I somehow, yeah, there's some annoying things about setting it up and all that, but honestly, in a week, I could probably set up a shoot, and so there's no reason why I shouldn't do that.
Is that a goal you're gonna write down? You're gonna write down your goal?
That one, no.
I'm gonna write it down for you and then ask you next week.
Oh, man, fine. Write it down for me. I'll blame it on
Got
my
it.
wife. I'll be like,
Oh yeah?
she's still, not.
I'll write that down too.
It's hard.
I'm sick of my excuses, and so you don't get excuses either. I'm sick of my own excuses, so you don't get any.
Ah. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, again, this week should be better, especially considering once I get my car fixed, my life will be back on track. And I'm very excited about that. Oh, I also have a Costco card now. I didn't pay for it. My brother did. But I'm excited. I'm going to go buy
Nice.
things in bulk and save money.
Good. There's some really good cheese there that I like to get. Tasty.
I like your thoughts.
Well, so anything else?
It's not like I haven't been working this week. Like, it's not been pen to paper, but I have done a lot of thinking about the piece and like where the camera sits and like the angles and everything. It's not like I haven't, like, that's what's runs through my brain a lot is where everything is, because I have a vision, like a very clear vision of where everything's like laid out, and so like I have to move it a little bit in my head and then like translate it to paper. Yeah. So it's not like I've been completely dormant. It's just not as active as I want to be. I need to be the volcano, James.
Okay. Mount Movius.
Mount Schmomovius. What about you, James? You got anything before we head out here?
I just want to keep the momentum towards changing my scenario. I need motion. I need that big mo. And even though I don't have much time, I think I also need to limit the amount of family time, as much as that may sound not good. I could probably squeak a little bit of time in if I kind of just make it known. Say, hey, in this period, I need to do this. Even if it's just for half an hour a day, I think I should probably start with that. So I'm going to try weaning back a little bit on that. See where it goes.
Okay. Yeah, we've got goals and we got to get there somehow. But the only way to get there is through sacrifice in some aspect or another. You can't just add more to your plate. There has to be room. You have to make room.
Yeah, I need to make some room. So,
All right. Well, on that note, you guys have yourself a wonderful rest of your day. And do remember, if you have no room on your plate, scrape James into the trash. I'm just kidding. Look at that face. You can't scrape that. Can't scrape that. Goodbye, everybody.
hit me in ranch.